This week is a little light on activities, mainly because you're focusing on that instructional visual activity that's coming up. Plus, you've all just come off of working on that theory presentation, which, by the way, I am working on grading. I forgot to mute the assignment in the course system, and I've been working offline again to grade those. So look for those grades later this week as I fully update the gradebook and WoW courses. So this week you are reading Chapter 10 of White Space is Not Your Enemy. This is actually the chapter on infographics, so be sure to take a look at some of the perceptions and advice given by the textbook authors. Your discussion this week is critiquing an infographic, which directly relates to the activities of exploring web-based design tools. Take advantage of some of those templates that are out there. Many of you have expressed frustration or at times concern over trying to be truly creative. Maybe templates will help, maybe they won't. I'm not saying you have to, but take a look at some of those links I've given you so that you can see what are the tools out there being used. I know many designers, myself included, who can certainly put together something in Illustrator or InDesign or Photoshop, but we choose to use some of these tools simply because they are simple, they're easy guidelines, and they have great resources to make your designs come to life with minimal effort. So don't be afraid to play with those. I've played with Adobe Spark and Canva myself the most. When it comes to infographics, I actually like PictoChart. It comes in quite handy, and they've even taken it up a notch so that you can present and print your infographics. They give you design guidelines or rules on the screen to help you see where a page would break or to help you insert different sections that it would display on a screen. So for some of you who are in the doc program and you've seen me present on the writing tips for graduate students, or perhaps you saw the recording of a presentation I gave recently for the Center for Teaching and Learning on backwards design, I used PictoChart infographics and then presented them, which kind of fools your audience into thinking that you're using PowerPoint or something similar. They're kind of fun. But with that in mind, take a look at the instructional visual assignment. That's what you're working on this week. That's where I want your efforts focused. Feel free to hit me with any questions you may have. Basically, in a nutshell, you are reading that article that is linked in the assignment description. This is actually from Patrick Lowenthal, one of the professors at Boise State's program. The article has actually since come out in Tech Trends, the journal, one of the journals of our field, but he gave me a preprint version specifically for this class. And I'll mention here that at the end of the semester, I will post a course announcement. Once grades are posted, I'll email each of you and ask if you're willing to let me use the infographic you created for a little research study I've been working on. Essentially, I'm doing a content analysis, which is a qualitative method, to look at the infographics created for this assignment by past classes so that I can see what are the similarities and differences in the way that each of you design and the content you decide to design. So this was a question that came up just recently. I believe it was last week actually. Someone asked me, do you need to take the entire article and distill it into an infographic? Well, that's your choice. That is entirely up to you. Do you want to try to identify all of the main points and capture that into an infographic? Or do you want to focus on a specific sub-area and really drill down into that information? It is entirely up to you to decide what information to take from the article and convey visually. How might you help others understand? And I'll even plant this seed because it's an idea in a conversation I recently had with a colleague at Georgia Southern. What if more research articles actually used infographics to help summarize the context of the study, the expected outcomes, the actual outcomes, and the implications of a study? What would that do for you as just the common individual on the street? Would that help you better understand scientific discovery? Something to think about. So as always, I hope you have a great week. Just send me any questions you may have. I'm happy to help. Please use the links on screen to navigate to the section of the overview you wish to access.